Hi and welcome to my Black Forest biome guide for Valheim. I'm Icon and this video will guide you through all you need to know to survive here. I will also talk about what you will find here, what you will need it for, and what you should keep an eye out for. I'll also talk about the risks, the dangers, and some tips and tricks I have acquired during my time here. So first up, before you want to go for your first trip into the Black Forest, bring a few things. That's at least a decent set of armor. Either a upgraded suite of wreck tunics or some deer hide clothing will be just fine. And on top of that, bring at least a flint axe, a bow, and if you can, the more the better. But these are, in my opinion, the mandatory requirements. It also won't hurt to bring a club or any other blunt weapon because you will meet enemies which are susceptible to that kind of damage. And you want to know that during nighttime this biome is a lot more dangerous, so if you just want to go for resource trips, you might want to do that primarily during daytime. So let's get started about what is up for you to be looted here. So the things we see here. I want to talk about pines first. Pines yield core wood, and pines can be felled with a flint axe. Unlike birch trees, they are easier to be taken down, and you can acquire those quite easily. Core wood can help you with a lot of things, and I don't want to spoiler here too much. Apart from that, you will also find blueberries, which are just like an upgrade to the raspberries of the meadows. And also you will find copper ore in the center of the Black Forest biome and tin ore at the shores of the Black Forest biome. So sadly I didn't find a copper ore deposit when I was looking for it, but we'll just set over here. Enemy-wise, you will meet Grey Dwarfs during the daytime and trolls, which are, well, both of them can be pretty easily avoided if you want to. Grey Dwarfs will never be able to kill you unless you force the fight too hard on them. You will always be able to run away from Grey Dwarfs, and trolls, it's pretty much the same. We will run into a troll during this video no matter what. So in the forests here you will also find mushrooms, but these are no new candidates. You will also already know these from your trips through the meadows. But what's really unique to the biome here are, here's tin, an example for a tin deposit compared to a regular stone. It looks like that. You see these silverish gleams in there. And let's check it out. I hope I'll find a few soon. Biome is not really in a mood to show itself here. So that's a good example how a copper deposit looks like. You see those gold-colored gleams in here compared to a regular stone. Regular stone, no spatches. Copper deposit stone. It's quite easy to walk past these if you don't know what you're looking for. That's why I'm showcasing these like that. You see here again, I spotted already the copper deposit here. So that's your friend the blueberry. And apart from that, you will also find some ruins here. The Black Forest also likes to feature beehives and those skeletons, of course. Skeletons, bring out the club for them. The sharp weapons are really bad against skeletons in general. You will deal a lot less damage, and skeletons are the first real deadly enemies you will meet in the Black Forest. They are way more vicious than the Grey Dwarfs, I'm sorry, and they also deal a lot more damage than the Grey Dwarfs. So during daytime, as you see here, the Black Forest is a pretty harmless biome. Ah, here we go. There's the thistle. Thistles will be absolutely useless to you at the first time when you walk past them, but once you start needing them, you will quickly realize that you had no chance to collect enough of them when you began with it. So just believe me when I tell you you will need a ton of those. You will need them for food and for potions as well, so therefore they are really important to gather. So as you see here, they are wildly growing all over the place, and it's not really possible to tell you where they grow, except for they do grow in the Black Forest. So let's check out where we find either a troll or a Grey Dwarf. So I was looking a little bit for these guys because they were that shy. So here's your Grey Dwarf experience. Grey Dwarfs are really, really harmless enemies if you understand their behavior. They always just attack you once or twice and then they fall back. And as you see here, I don't even need to sprint. A Grey Dwarf can't actually kill you as long as you're just moving ahead in a straight line. They will fling rocks after you, which is quite nasty, but apart from that, there's not much coming from their side. Grey Dwarfs can be easily chopped down, and apart from tanking a lot of your blows during the early game, there's not really much of a threat coming from these guys. The real threat of the Black Forest begins when you either go for a troll or wait until the nighttime. Speaking about trolls, this is what a troll den looks like. This is one of 2 possible dungeons in the Black Forest, and the troll den is one of the most dangerous dungeons in this biome. But first up, you will enter it and fight against the troll. Pretty dangerous, but 2 things I have learned. I'll show you. When you enter the troll cave, the troll is always standing back there in the corner, and you can easily just shoot once, run away, wait a moment outside, go back in, he resets, rinse and repeat. You will be able to kill the troll with that. It's insanely easy, and I think it won't be like this for too long, but right now it works. Also, a trick worth mentioning here when you find one of these troll caves, I wanted to show you, since it's a shelter, you can drop down a workbench and actually repair your stuff here. It's quite nice to know, but this thing here already is a shelter, and you can do not only this, but also, if I'm not mistaken, well, if we would put down a fire now here as well, you can even sleep here. It's worth showing because this really does change things up a lot. So during nighttime, you will encounter enemies here which are quite similar to what we found here. You will only encounter bigger versions of the Grey Dwarfs called Grey Dwarf Brutes. They are much more dangerous but follow the same procedure, and you will also meet Grey Dwarf Shamans, which are healers and damage over time dealers, but seriously, they are behaving just the same like the Grey Dwarfs. So this is what carrot seeds look like. Picking them up is quite useful because you will be able to plant your own carrots with these. And yeah, there's also crypts here in the Black Forest, looking similar like the troll dens, but unlike the troll den, the crypts are more a sophisticated structure, and you will immediately realize the difference between a troll den and a regular crypt. So Black Forest is pretty easily survivable if you also know that a torch will scare away all the Grey Dwarfs in your vicinity. They hate fire, and this is one of the easier ways to get yourself a pathing through here. So, things I did forget so far. Well, we didn't meet a troll here, sadly. So, let me find one for you. So here's our big friend. Back there in the forest you see the troll. Trolls are the biggest enemies you can find in the forests. You probably shouldn't take them on up front with your melee weapons. This troll here is a particular dangerous one. Not all of them wield a log. When they wield a log, their range is extensively increased. The bare-fisted ones are pretty easily taken down with arrows. These here fall under a quite similar pattern, but keep in mind these attacks are really long range. Also keep in mind the trolls are able to fell trees and smack you with that. Overall, trolls are pretty easy to take down. As you see here, their pattern is pretty predictable. And without tumble rolls, though, it's really hard to evade them fully. But as you see here, I'm only suffering 15 damage per blow. So once you're armor is heavy enough, it will be quite easy. But believe me, with leather armor, this one is a lot harder. So my verdict when it comes down to trolls with logs, only take them down if you feel like you want to. They are a lot more dangerous than their fisted brethren, and if there are stars on the troll, well, most likely it's not worth it. Trolls yield troll leather, and they also yield coins, so they are really, well, worth the pain, I'd say. And here are two more things worth knowing about trolls. Trolls don't fit between these trees. As you see here, he has no chance passing through this. You can use this to your advantage. Also, trolls, just like any other enemy, can't jump. I know I'm dodging horribly right now, but that's not the point here. So whenever you find a spot where you can just jump down a ledge or a cliff, well, I'm not really finding one here, those those copper deposits often yield spots which are quite good. You can shake them off like that, but as you see here, shaking off a troll ain't that hard. But overall, trolls are the biggest and the worst you can meet outside here, and I would say if you don't have to kill them, you can easily avoid them, but if you want to kill them, they are not that hard to kill. Also here in the forest are spawning points for grey dwarfs. Sadly, I already destroyed all of them in this vicinity, but if you ever happen to find a spot which is surrounded by a eerie purplish gloom, you found one of those enemy spawners. It's pretty easy to say how to deal with them. You need to break through, destroy the spawning structure first, and then deal with the rest. Unless you want to farm these enemies. So this is what a spawning structure looks like after it's destroyed. It's the same like this, only with a purplish glow in the middle. You will find lots of grey dwarfs around that, and always new grey dwarfs spawning out of that point. You'll find something quite useful in there to summon the next boss. Spoiler alert, but you might want to know that. So, last but not least, I want to introduce the crypts here to you. Promised crypts. I got you some crypts. So this is one scenario how a crypt could look like, and as you see here, it's also sheltered, so you can use these things just like I showed you with the troll nests. And there is another design looking quite differently. I marked them on the map to show them better. And that's this one here. That's the other version of the crypt burial chambers. So burial chambers are really cool solo dungeons. Bring a torch and bring a blunt weapon and be ready to loot circling cores and money in here. I don't want to go too deep into these dungeons. I just want to say blunt weapons are key in here, and be careful how deep you go. If you're able to destroy these enemies easily, it's a walk in the park, but as long as you're not, these areas are quite dangerous. So, the last few words about the Black Forest. You will always find a lot of enemies around structures here, so like forgotten towers and such. During nighttime, it is almost not worth traveling through Black Forest unless you want to fight, because during nighttime you will face so many grey dwarfs and their bigger cousins that it's almost not worth traveling through here. So you might possibly think about sleeping, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So feel free to drop me comments down below if you feel like I left out something which is really important to you, or if you have some question, just ask away. Also, leave a like or a subscription on the channel if you felt that was some helpful video. I would be deeply delighted for your support. Also check out my channel, you'll find other Valheim tutorial videos there and other stuff you might be interested in as well. I hope you had a great time and see you soon. Good luck in the Black Forest, friends. Bye bye.